Time to go live. Welcome to the fourth episode of our show. Yes, this is already the fourth episode. And you know what? And the third name. Because I thought about it and I decided to call this show Coffee with Markus again. Because even though it is in the afternoon, why not have a coffee together after the markets are closed, reviewing the markets and talk about millionaire mindset tips and tricks. Stuff that I do in my life that I hope helps you to become even more successful. So today we're going to talk about how millionaires think. But first of all, we want to take a look at the markets and what happened here today. So let's jump over to the computer, take a look at the S&P 500. Here we go. As you can see, today, another day for the record books. So yes, we are making new highs again. See the S&P up 0.64%. And if you look back over a 1-year chart, you see we are just going up in a straight line. I mean, there's barely any dips. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones. Also today, almost scratching 25,000, as you can see here. Closed at 24,914, as high as 20,940 here. A little bit bumpier here in the Dow, but if you look here also on a 1-year chart, you see we're just making new all-time highs. But how long is this sustainable, this rally? I mean, I believe that we will see a correction very soon. Now let's take a look at the Nasdaq here. That's another market that we are following. Nasdaq started strong this morning, went all the way up, and then you see well above 7,000 right now, looking at a 1-year chart, again, making new all-time highs. Talking about new all-time highs, another market here today, crude oil. So this is the intraday chart of crude oil, and as you can see, crude oil today was rising. Let's take a look at a 1-year chart here. You see, crude oil was going down as low as $42, but now solid above $60. And pretty soon we might see this at the pump again, that gas prices are going up. All right, final market to look at, Bitcoin, because everybody is talking about Bitcoin. So just looking here at the 1-day chart, as you can see, Bitcoin here a little bit up and down. I mean, we're still up 2% for the day. Yeah, I believe that's where we are at. 2% up for the day, but Bitcoin has been a little bit rougher. If you look at the last 3 months, yes, we have been going up, but now let's take a look at the last 3 months here. As you can see, Bitcoin a little bit up and down, not the skyrocketing commodity here that we used to see. I call it commodity. Is it a commodity? Is it a currency? It doesn't really matter. All right, anyhow, so this is what I wanted to show you regarding the markets here today. Let's switch back to the camera. Now let's talk about how millionaires think. And you see, this one thing that's very important. It's your attitude, right? Let me show you a quote that I have here for you today. There we go. There's the quote. I forgot to switch back to the camera. Doesn't matter. The quote is, if you think you can or you think you can't, you will always be right. Isn't that the truth? Let me give you an example. You see, my son Julius, he's 14 years old, and he has this attitude that he can do anything. I mean, it's not that he thinks that he's invincible, but he believes he can do anything. He's a great sailor. He started sailing 4 years ago. He's now the state champion in Texas here. Yes, we do have sailing in Texas. I know, it's pretty funny. Different story. But you see, whatever you throw at him, he says, sure, I can do this. Skating, ice skating, windsurfing. He just has this belief it is possible, and he has the belief I can do it. So when was it? 2 years ago, I believe, for the first time ever, he went windsurfing. I don't know if you have ever tried it, but I mean, in the beginning, it can be frustrating. You're standing on the board. It is wobbly. You're trying to pull up the sail. And while you're pulling up the sail, you're already falling backwards. You're falling in. I was watching him when he started. And I don't know how many times he got knocked into the water before he got up, was going for a few feet, and then again fell into the water. But you know what? Since he had the attitude and saying, I can do this, he got back up on the board, tried it again, fell down, got back up, tried it again, over and over and over. He didn't give up. And I think this is an important lesson that we can learn here. Because what would happen if he would have gotten into the water with the attitude of saying, I can't do this. Windsurfing, I cannot do this. He would have gone up on the board, tried to pull up the sail, fell down, and immediately said, see, told you it's not working. And you see, it doesn't matter what in life you do. Trading, take trading, for example. See, in the beginning, I wanted to become a trader. I was determined to become a trader. And I had my losses. Now, if I would have given up after a few losses or after a string of losses, I wouldn't be where I am today. But I have this attitude that I said, it is possible to make money with trading. This was my mindset. I mean, failure for me was not an option. And this is how I approach many things today. Now, you know that many people try to trade and they lose money. Why? I believe because often they start with this attitude, I don't think that it's going to work. I'm going to lose money. When you have this attitude, again, this is where we're going back to the quote. If you think you can or you think you can't, you will always be right. So make sure that you have a positive attitude. We talked about it yesterday. If you have a goal and you march towards the goal, if you see that you're not making progress, change the plan, not the goal. That is an important thing. You see, in the beginning, when I was trading, I was using a weird day trading approach where I was just in the market for a few seconds. Because somebody told me if you don't make 100 trades per day, you'll never make it as a trader. Well, I believe this person, and I believe that this was a broker because my broker made a lot of money on me in commissions and my account didn't go anywhere. But you see, this is the trading approach that I used. I traded and traded and traded and didn't see my account going anywhere. So I analyzed my trades and said, what am I doing wrong? Because I had this belief that it is possible to make money with trading. And I wanted to prove it to myself that I am right. And you know what? This morning, I had a very similar discussion with my team. Yes, I always think that I can do it better, that I got it. This is my attitude. I'm walking through this, through life with this attitude. And see, I'm very happy that my son got the same attitude. My daughter Vivian, she's 12 years old. She's a little bit more hesitant, but she's getting there. And this is what I want to give to my kids. I want to give them the attitude and say, you can do this. Try it. Give it a shot. And if it doesn't work at first, don't give up. Try it again. Change the plan, but not the goal. So keep this in mind as you go through life. If you think you can or you think you can't, you will always be right. Look at it from the positive side and say, I can do it. And also, more importantly, I deserve it. Because that's another thing that's going on in our head, that we often tell ourselves, I don't deserve success. I don't deserve all this money. No, you do deserve this. You deserve to be rich. You deserve to have the freedom you want. You deserve to have a different lifestyle. You deserve to have the best quality of life that you can imagine. So always stay positive. When you get up in the morning, have a positive attitude towards life, and then grab life by its horns and say, I can do it. Hope that helps. Have a great day, and I'll see you the next time.